Hello and welcome back to Sunrider Liberation Day Return. Shields and Ava ran into the closest maintenance tunnel and headed down to Deck 2. The backup FTL is one of the few systems which keep operating under battery power when the ship loses power like this. Basically, when the ship's disabled, we need to be able to breathe and call for help, so life support and the FTL comm keep working. It's a lot more limited than the regular ones though. We can only transmit a text message, less than 120 characters in length, and the message can only be broadcast on the Intergalactic Distress and Rescue channel. Another problem is that the batteries are still nowhere powerful enough to power life support for the entire ship, so the air's going to get really thin on Deck 2 really fast. Captain, wait. Is something wrong? Here, we should get one of these first. Ava removed the wall panel, revealing a toolbox stashed behind it. The maintenance crew leaves their supplies here. Good call, Ava. They opened the toolbox, revealing a handheld welding kit, first aid equipment, and a pair of oxygen masks, and a knee and elbow pads for cooling through the tunnel. Looks like we lucked out. Here. He handed Ava the oxygen mask. The air's going to get real thin the further we get from the centre of the ship. Probably going to need to put this on. I would never have known this toolbox was here. Well, Captain, perhaps you should read the maintenance handbook for the ship. Sorry. Shields looked down in embarrassment. He was depressingly reliant on Ava when the day-to-day operations of the ship were concerned. In fact, unless they were in combat, Ava was more or less the captain of the ship. Once again, he was reminded of how much he had taken her for granted. After putting on the protective pads, Ava closed the toolbox and headed deeper into the tunnel. Come on, let's go. To be fair, it is an EXO's job to keep a handle on the day-to-day running of the ship. If an EXO's truly brilliant at their job, the captain will have almost no problems to deal with. They'll be able to get on with their own stuff. The EXO is very much the manager of the ship, while the captain is, I believe the commonly used parlance is master after God. Is the usual phrase. Shields chased after her, trying to keep up with her quick pace. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I owe you an apology. I don't think I've been taking good care of you lately. Kato, what do you mean? Well, okay, honestly, meeting my other self for the first time really gave me a new perspective on things. He's kind of an ass. Stubborn as hell, and once he's decided something, no one else can change his mind. Trying to reason with him, it's like talking to a brick wall. You were dealing with me for the better part of a year now. I feel kind of ashamed for the way I've acted in front of you. Honestly, it takes me back. Perhaps I'm the only one saying this because you're not my captain right now, but it feels like so little has changed from when we were in school. Remember all the arguments we'd get into back then? That's right. Of course, I was the one in charge in the past, and you would always get so angry at how I would never budge on anything. But despite that, you stayed by my side until the very end. I've always regretted how it ended, Ava. Nothing. Anyway, what I'm saying is, since you put up with me back then, I'll put up with being ignored by you now. Like you said, having these roles reversed gives you a new perspective, and I'm not going to quit just because you don't like my ideas. You never once did that to me. I see. Anyways, thanks, Ava, for everything you do for me. I have been taking it all for granted. Huh. You can thank me by diligently finishing some paperwork after all this is through. Ugh. Yes, Mom. Do you take your gratitude back now? Speaking of that, Ava doesn't know about the whole universe collapsing if we succeed with this mission. Speaking of that, there's another wrinkle in the plan I forgot to mention. Look, Claude told me that right before I got detained by security, but apparently fixing the timeline isn't as simple as just averting the massacre and then living happily ever after. Shield spoke with Ava about the universe getting wiped from existence and being replaced with a new one. I see. So you're saying, once the massacre has been averted, we will all vanish from existence, but at the same time we will all be recreated in a new universe where the massacre never occurred. Yeah, some heavy stuff. I'm afraid I cannot express much of an opinion on this matter. I never even imagined we would find ourselves in a situation such as this. No kidding. Really? Become a time traveller, fight against a past version of myself, changing the future? For now, averting the assassination of Admiral Grey and preventing an intergalactic war seems to be our goal. Existential dilemmas are honestly above our pay grade, as it were. I kinda decided the same myself. I'm here to prevent what happened in my timeline from being repeated again. As long as a new universe will be created, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure we can all live in peace in that new universe. Indeed, that sounds like a good approach. After some time, the two arrived at the backup comm. The walls were now frozen solid with a thin layer of ice, and small icicles hung from the pipes running along the wall of the tunnel. While their oxygen masks allowed them to keep breathing despite being so far away from the central life support system, the uniforms were no match for the frigid cold. With trembling hands, Shields removed the wall panel, exposing the controls of the FTL comm. Icicles hung from the comm's cables, while a thin layer of frost caked the steel casing. Okay, just to be a pedant here, is it just me or is this ship really badly designed in this regard? Why would you put your emergency FTL comm in a section that won't have proper life support when in a situation where you might need it? Ship designer, you were an idiot. God damn it, this thing had better still be working. He pressed the activation button, but the comm showed no signs of life. Shit! What the hell's wrong with this thing? He tried to troubleshoot the problem, making sure all the cables were connected. Finally, he came upon a single unplugged cable, dangling at the bottom of the case. Unfortunately, the cable slot was now obstructed by a solid block of ice, making it impossible to plug back in. He tried to force the cable steel rod to the receptor, but the hull was completely filled with ice. Frustration bubbled inside of him. Who had dropped the ball and left this cable unplugged? Was it a member of the maintenance crew or malfunctioning repair drone? What's wrong? Someone left a cable unplugged. I won't be able to turn the comm on without it, and the receptor's frozen solid. Use this. Ava opened the toolbox and withdrew the handheld welder. Good call. He took the welder and activated it close to the frozen receptor, and the blue laser emitted from the tip of the welder quickly melted away the ice. The cable now fit perfectly inside the receptor. Be careful you don't leave too much leftover water in there. I've seen what happens when water gets inside cables. Suffice to say, there was a wee bit of a bang when that happened to us. Yeah, this is the problem with having exterior cabling for a pond. I love the fact we got really good quality armoured cable, which we're pretty sure could hold up to just about anything, and the connectors that came with it are crap, and water managed to leak into them. Really, really great design there, lads. Anyway. Alright, let's hope that did the trick. Shields turned the comm on again, and breathed a sigh of relief when it activated. We're in business! Fontana, you better read this message after everything we've been through to send it. Shields used the comm's keypad to type out the warning to Fontana and relayed it. In 120 characters? How the hell do you get that much information out in less info than I get in a tweet? I find Twitter incredibly limiting, which, incidentally, I do tweet occasionally. Normally if I've got something moderately worth saying. It usually means I tend to go on mini rants that are like 20 tweets long, because it's the only way I can express myself. Now, all we can do is pray someone on board Fontana's ship is watching the distress channel, and takes the message seriously enough to relay it to Fontana. Shields reattached the wall panel and once again closed the comm. Come on. We've done all we can here. We need to get deeper into the ship before we freeze to death. The duo made their slow return to the centre of the ship. Their extremities were completely numb thanks to the cold, and worse still, now they had to climb up ladders instead of downwards, making the return trip far more difficult. Damn. Oh, this cold really takes me back. Remember when you used to complain about the cold all the time back on Sarah? How could I forget? In fact, you joined the student council to lobby for thermoweave uniforms, didn't you? Well, look at me now. I'm wearing one hella expensive thermoweave uniform and I'm still freezing my ass off. Oh, what I would give for a thick alpaca blanket right now. Can't believe you can act so stoic all the time. Aren't you cold, Ava? I assure you, I am just as cold as you are right now. I just don't bellyache. It's definitely like you. The two of them came upon yet another ladder. Each of the frozen rungs looked like akin to daggers in Shield's mind. He let out a long, exhausted sigh. Let's take a short break. I don't think my hands are ready for another frozen ladder. He collapsed down against the wall and did a double take when Ava took a seat on his lap. Ava? Quit struggling. The quickest method of warming ourselves up will be through exchanging our body heat. Here, give me your hand. She took his hands and intertwined their fingers. While she remained completely nonchalant about their intimate position, Shield's heart couldn't help but beat faster. We don't have a moment to spare. The ship's still completely without power, and if Pact attacks now, we'll all be dead in a matter of minutes. Sorry, what were you saying again? Idiot. Rub your body against mine. The friction will generate additional heat. Can anybody else say, oh my? Rub? Yes, rub. Can you not see that this is a life or death situation? Oh god, this is just too much. Ava might think this is nothing more than a survival exercise, but there is no way a healthy guy like me is just going to rub down a woman without getting all kinds of weird reactions. Seriously, dude? Try it sometime. It's not that difficult. Well, it's definitely going to get me hotter, alright, but probably not in the way you think. Oh, idiot, what the hell are you saying? Oh, never mind, I see you haven't matured a day since we advanced Academy, Kato. Look, I'm just saying that... Oh, fuck. Unbelievable, just unbelievable. The safety of the ship is at stake here, and you're too caught up in your juvenile fantasies to even employ basic survival tactics. Ugh, I can't believe Command actually made you captain, Kato. Obviously, we'd all be in better hands if I were in charge. Ava suddenly started giggling. Shield stared at her incredulously. Oh, damn. Must have been a decade since I've heard you laugh like that. Idiot. I guess it's been a while. A while since what? Since you actually relied on me? What are you talking about? I rely on you all the time. Not merely for the paperwork, Kato, but for something big. I imagine the talented girls we found throughout the galaxy are the cause of my obsolescence. But the truth is, you actually have grown. I'm still not quite used to the new you. You're a leader now, a far more capable one than me. Sometimes I fear you will soon have no need for me at your side. Ava. Of course, you are not the captain of this ship, so that in no way means I intend to change the way I handle my professional relationships. But... what are you saying? Just look at the past few hours. Where would I be without my high-performing childhood friend? If I weren't for you, I'd probably be passed out cold in this tunnel right now. Hell, I would probably never have managed to send the transmission to Fontana. I still need you, Ava. Then, I guess I don't have anything to worry about. Ava finally peeled herself off Shields, and two of them shivered as the icy air hit them, nearly as sharply as the loneliness of being separated. I'm feeling better. Let's get a move on. Alright. Once again, they returned to their ascent back to Deck 1. T-minus 47 hours, and 11 until Chikara enters the mine stream. The thing is, we've already conclusively shown that it's not the mine stream that causes Chikara to get taken over, so I don't know why that matters. After what seemed like an eternity, the pair finally returned to the ship's core. They sighed in relief as the air once again became thick with oxygen and the frost on the tunnels gradually disappeared. Alright. Now that we've got the message sent, we need to restore the ship's power. The only way to do that is to head to engineering and figure out just what Chikara's done to the main reactor. Looks like there's no way around revealing ourselves to the crew for this. Alright, I'll stay by you and pretend you're the other Kato Shields. Hopefully that should be enough to keep security off us. Okay, I'll go down there and see. Before Shields could finish, the ship shook as a massive explosion bent the hull. Ah! Damn! What the hell was that? The explosion came from the exterior of the ship. It can only mean one thing. Shit! This didn't happen in my timeline. We've obviously altered the course of history by revealing ourselves to the prototype's leader before the battle. Is she going to use this opportunity to kill us all here? Come on, let's find out what's going on. Shields opened the tunnel's gate and entered engineering. Crewmen scrambled as the ship shook. Pipes burst throughout the room, spewing clouds of vapour. Without any power, the ship was both toothless and blind. Shit! Should have seen this coming. Of course, the prototypes were going to exploit an opportunity to sink the ship. Change of plans. I've got to get to the bridge. You stay here, find a way to restore power while I find out the tactical situation. Alright, good luck. With that, Ava ran out of engineering and headed to the bridge. Shields ran to the reactor's controls and found Ikari furiously pounding away on the console. Ikari, what's the situation? What are you doing here, Captain? Aren't you supposed to be on the bridge? No use. Without power, there's nothing we can do. Can't you scramble your riders? Or are we implying that without power the door's sealed shut or something like that? I mean, if that's the situation, fine. It would just be nice to have a teensy bit of clarification on that. But that's me nitpicking, don't worry. I don't know what's going on either, but the reactor's somehow been completely shut off. Now that you're here, I might be able to trick the system into doing a manual reboot. The ship took another hit, knocking the two of them off their feet. Damn it! Shields screamed to a crewman. What's the situation? Sir, Crow's Nest reports the Pact fleet advancing on our position. Combined fleet is trying to hold Pact back, but they're getting decimated by some new enemy rider, unlike anything we've seen before. New enemy rider? Oh shit, that can only mean... Shields still vividly remembered the terrifying power of the Nightmare Ascendant. Only with the combined fleet, Fontana ships and the Sunrider at full capacity acting together did they manage to take it down in his timeline. But now, he had no idea whether Fontana's ships were even operational, while his own vessel was completely shut down. In other words, unless he could find a way to restore power, they were going to be dead in moments. Cap, as I was saying, there's a way to turn the reactor back on, but well, the problem is you're going to have to go inside the reactor first. Okay, anyone who's seen Star Trek 2 should know why that makes me nervous. Still, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one. Boy, I'm already not liking the sound of this. I don't know how, but whoever set the ship down managed to get his hands on Shigaro's command ID. The only two people who have higher access clearance are you and the commander. I managed to rewire the engineering-based security grid to prevent an override. The only problem is that the hack requires you to swipe your command ID on the reactor's internal control relay. Why the hell is that inside the reactor? The console's just used for maintenance tasks when the reactor's been shut off. Basically the only console in engineering the perpetrator of this attack didn't have access to. Thanks to that, I was able to open up a back door to regain control over the reactor systems through it. Don't worry, you'll have 20 seconds after you swipe your command ID on the console before the reactor turns back on. Just climb back up once it's done. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. However, when the Sunrider took another massive hit, causing a beam to drop down from the ceiling and smash a row of consoles, Shields realised he didn't have any time to complain. God damn it! He gritted his teeth and pulled himself over to the other side of the railing which blocked off the reactor shaft. In reality, the steel column in front of him was merely the tip of the reactor. Below him, a massive chasm actually housed the majority of the Sunrider's fusion reactor, which was shaped like an enormous sprouting onion. He jumped off the ledge onto a ladder, leading down to the reactor's bulb-like bottom. Just as he grabbed onto the ladder, the ship took another hit. Oh shit, oh shit! He lost his footing and hung onto the ladder for dear life as his legs flowed below him. Ah! He managed to regain his balance amidst his curses. Worst day ever! He climbed down and spun a steel wheel which opened the reactor's gate. However, the next thing he saw when he entered the reactor made his jaws drop. An enormous cavern of steel surrounded on all sides by enormous spires. Oh, where the hell is the console? He scanned the spherical dome for anything resembling a workstation to no avail. Finally gave up and poked his head back outside. Ikari, where the hell is the console? Ikari looked down and hollered back. Huh? It should be right there. It's a steel jungle in here. I don't know what's what. Oh, for the love of... Aren't you the ship's captain? Captain, not engineer! Ikari nearly fell down the chasm herself when another enormous explosion shook the ship. Shields heard screaming and the crashing of steel above him. What just happened? Nothing. Half of engineering just collapsed, that's all. Look for 2 red stripes. The console will be between them. 2 red stripes. Got it. Shields re-entered the reactor core and desperately looked around for the red stripes. Red stripes, red stripes. There, I see it. He ran across the core as the entire ship rattled. Shields swiped the command ID located on the cuff of his wrist against the console's reader. The console screen came to life and displayed various glyphs belonging to Shields' comprehension. But he understood clearly what the countdown time of 20 meant. And that means I got a whole ass out of here. The reactor began to hum back to life and sparks began to fly from the top of the spires as Shields sprinted across the core. Ah! Suddenly the entire spherical interior began to revolve around the middle circlet where the exit was bored through. What in... Shields' sprint suddenly became futile as the entire room began to revolve in the opposite direction to which he was running. Ah, wrong way! Shields turned round and ran in the other direction. The gate fast approached him as the resolving floor now added to his speed. He had to jump at exactly the right time and grab the exit passage. Ha! He jumped and grabbed onto the ledge of the gate as the entirety of the reactor core revolved around him. Sparks of energy at the tip of the spires began to glow, brighter and brighter. With the last of his strength, he heaved himself through the gate and clambered onto the ladder, shattering the gate behind him and spinning the wheel as quickly as he could muster. Just as the gate locked, the ship hummed back to life. Power's back! He heard the satisfying thumping of the Sunrider's AA guns as they awoke from their slumber. Grinning with triumph, Shield climbed the ladder and grabbed onto Akari's hand. Ha! You did it! Overcome with joy, Akari and Shields embraced. Shield suddenly realised what he was doing and pulled himself off the mercenary. Oh, yeah. Good job with the fix, Akari. You too, Captain. What? Look, it's not like I hugged you because I like you or anything. I was just relieved, that's all. The celebration was abruptly cut short when Ava burst into engineering. You've got to get out of here! What? Shields looked behind her to the hallway, where a squad of well-armed Marines was marching towards engineering. Shit. Sorry, Akari, gotta go! What the... Shields tore himself off the Sundra Merc and split towards the nearest maintenance tunnel with Ava. The Marines descended upon Akari and held her at gunpoint. Freeze! Oi! What's the big idea? The last thing Shields saw was Akari angrily confronting the Marines as he dived back into the tunnel. Oh, Akari, I'm sorry. Just don't do anything stupid and get yourself shot. Shields kicked the gate on the opposite end of the tunnel open and scrambled out into the hallway. It would be seconds until security was on top of him again. Alright, the power's back, and the message to Fontana has been sent. The only thing left is to put Chigara out of commission, and we'll have averted the massacre. But how will we manage to detain Chigara with practically the entire ship against us? Come to think of it, there is another option. When Chigara enters the mindstream, Saga goes berserk and nearly kills her in my timeline. If we just change the course of events a little, we can get this universe's Asaga to kill Chigara before she has a chance to commit the massacre. That is murder we're talking about here. Shield's chest chilled at his own thoughts. The safety of the galaxy is at stake, but to arrange the murder of my own chief engineer? Once again his memories of Chigara came flooding back to him. Ugh. His chest suddenly twitched at the thought of killing his former lover. Granted, she had been sent as a spy to win his affections from the very beginning, but Shields was still certain the massacre was not Chigara's doing. She had been mind-controlled without her knowledge during that time. Surely she needed to be captured, but to be killed? Not only that, Asaga was merely a distraught girl in this timeline. Her attack on Chigara was a moment of desperation brought on by mental fatigue after her multiple awakenings. She used Asaga like a puppet to murder her best friend in cold blood. He knew that if he went down this path, he would no longer be worthy of being the ship's captain. At least in his own eyes. But this is the safety of the galaxy we're talking about. Just then, Marines appeared around the corner of the hallway. The two of them ran for it as they opened fire, sending shock rounds bouncing off the walls. Shit! Doesn't look like I have a choice now. Claude, are you there? As if on cue, Claude materialised beside him. Yes, Captain! Good, I was hoping you were watching all this. I'm gonna need your help. Well, as long as it doesn't involve my powers. I don't need teleportation, just figure out a way to get through the anchor. Pretend you're this universe's Claude and Saucy. Oh, okay, I'll see what I can do. Ava, this is where we make our stand. Kato, we're going to distract the Marines so Claude can escape. Very well, give me your gun. Ava, don't do anything stupid. Before he could speak another word, Ava snatched Shield's pistol and held it up against his head. Ah, figures. And here I thought she was planning to make some heroic last stand. I've captured the imposter! Behind them, Claude sprinted off as quickly as her feet would carry her to the hangar. Claude, good luck. The Marines approached, rifles drawn, and a familiar face broke through the wall of rifles. End of the line, prototype. Commander, you damn well have a good explanation as to what you were doing with him, and how he escaped the brig. Captain! Despite her cool exterior, Shields knew that Ava was currently racking her brain for a logical explanation for her actions. But she could think of one. But more bad news appeared. It appears someone's used the commander's security credentials to unlock the imposter's cell. Of course, I'm not accusing the commander of setting the prisoner free, but... Captain, the chief speaks the truth. Shit. She couldn't think of anything. I was the one who set the other Kato shields free. In fact, I believe his words are the truth, and it is the chief engineer who is the true spy. You must revoke her security clearance and detain her, or else you may very well disable this entire ship right now. I don't know what you're trying to pull here, prototype, but to think you've actually managed to turn my own executive officer against me. Commander, you are effectively relieved of your rank and duties. You are to be confined for the duration of this operation. Take both of them in, boys. Shit. I've got to do something to distract... Before anyone could move, the ship took a massive hit, nearly knocking everyone off their feet. You felt that? That's the Nightmare Ascendant, and it's come back for another round. You're right. I am a prototype, but in exchange for my safety, I'm willing to talk. I can tell you about the Ascendant systems, its abilities. You'll need me to survive this battle. Is that so? The other shields pondered his options, and another direct hit helped him come to a quick decision. Alright, take the prototype to the bridge. Everyone man your stations. Has he got enough bloody Marines? And remember, face-obscuring masks for when you absolutely positively can't afford multiple character models. The Marines marched shields to the bridge at gunpoint. Never thought that I'd become a captain on my own bridge. You could tell the battle situation was already tense. Thanks to the Sunrider losing power, the chronology of events he was familiar with had been forever altered. Instead of the Sunrider re-entering the battle after finishing its resupply operation, the Loyalist pack fleet had advanced and launched an offensive while the ship was powered down. In other words, the timing of events had moved forward. By now, most of the Sunrider's riders had already sorted, and within moments Chigara would likely enter the Mindstream to restore Fontana's control over the Allied pack fleet. This is the pivotal moment. I have to end this now. I won't get another shot at this. He heard Kriska's voice crackle through the comm. Sunrider, the Nightmare Ascendant's coming around for another pass. We've been hitting it with everything we've got, but our weapons are ineffective. Prototype, what do you know about the Nightmare Ascendant? It's an ancient Ruvian rider used by Shah Marine, who vanished a millennia ago. Defeating it won't be easy, but if you stick it with enough lead, it'll go down like anything else. But be careful. The prototype leader piloting it can also awaken, just like a Saga and Solar. I see. The only way we're going to get past that monstrosity is if the entire combined fleet and the Allied pack fleet hit it with everything we've got. Chigara, how soon can you begin to restore control to Fontana's ships? I can begin any time, Captain. No, wait! If Chigara enters the Mindstream, then you will assure your own destruction. The prototype leader will transfer her consciousness into Chigara's body and use it to perpetrate the assassination of Admiral Grey and every single Alliance military leader gathered at the victory celebration. Captain, we must consider the risk. Prepare to enter the Mindstream, Chigara. Captain! Commander, if we don't get Fontana's ships into the battle right now, the entire combined fleet will be lost. Does the prototype have any other ideas on how to win? Come on, there's got to be some way we can win without Fontana. The Sunrider shook as it took more hits. In front of them, the Nightmare Ascendant's fly drones danced around the Alliance carrier as they carved it to pieces. The entire carrier burst into a massive fireball, sending a piece of its launch platform flying through the gut of the cruiser. The smaller vessel listed sideways as its fuel tanks lit on fire, burning its crew alive. We have to trust Chigara. I know she's not a prototype. She's one of us. She's our trump card. If she can turn this battle around in our favour. That's exactly what the prototypes want you to do. We have to continue without Fontana's fleet and face certain defeat. Captain, the prisoner's words do have merit. The chief engineer of this vessel could easily have been embedded the logic bomb which shut down our ship. Further, if she is indeed a prototype spy, it stands to reason she could be mind-controlled, as has been suggested by our prisoner. Of course, any action may be to permit her to enter the Mindstream to undo the prototype's control over the Allied fleet for now, but then to detain her after the danger had passed. Burning embers glowed inside the other shield's eyes. She isn't a spy! There's no way she would be working for the enemy! It's just like when... damn the entire galaxy if it means protecting Chigara. She was there for me when... well, you weren't! Sweat dripped down Shield's face as he heard his past self rave in madness. He closed his eyes. Yes, this was the me of the past. A fool. A dangerous fool. Captain, you have become emotionally compromised. You are failing to appraise the situation rationally, and I cannot permit you to lead this ship when you are basing your decisions solely on your... Enough! I will not allow you to slander our chief engineer. Commander, to think I once called you my friend. Oh, shit. Now he's completely lost his mind. Just what kind of lies have Chigara been feeding him lately? For all intents and purposes, he's fallen completely under the prototype's control. There's no hope of ever convincing him now. Kari's voice cut through the comm. Oh boy. Captain, the Saga's gone berserk. What are we supposed to do? What? I'm sorry, Captain, but you're being tricked. I'm doing this for the good of the ship. Chigara is the traitor. The Blackjack is on an intercept course for the Liberty. A Saga! Captain, I've always loved you, and I'm going to protect you. This is happening exactly like my own timeline. Claude, use the grav gun to stop a Saga. Sorry, Captain, but I'm afraid your other versions managed to outmaneuver you. Claude's face appeared on the main monitor. I won't be listening to your orders anymore. Shield sighed in relief. Claude, you made it! Of course! Fooling my other self was a piece of cake. Now this is the pivotal moment. What is your order? It's too late for second thoughts now. Getting a Saga to kill Chigara really is the only option. Jesus Christ, that's dark. You know what, I think before we say that is a good point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.